Hey everybody. Hey Ember. Thanks for the sub. Secret stream. Yes, it's rare that I can say happy Tuesday. And yet here we are. It's Tuesday afternoon. And I updated the today command already, but that is indicative of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be organizing this list, which has gotten up to 18 pages long. And the majority of this is going to be all of this stuff. I was kind of just lazy about filing these tasks, and they don't belong in this list. And it's easier to just type a line in here than it is to go to GitHub and go to the issues and click new issue and click open a blank issue and then type in all the stuff and figure out the classification and everything. I think part of this though was that originally everything we added was immediately to a project, and I think that's a mistake. And the reason why it's a mistake is because when you add something to a project, first of all, you need to add it differently. So you need to type in the repo and everything. You still type in the issue name, but then you need to start assigning all of the things that are in a project, like the iteration and the priority and any other tags, etc. Can't wait to watch this man organize his to-do list. Well, I mean, you're here in the first 2 minutes of the stream, so guess you can't. Which, by the way, I should probably write this down somewhere. GitHub projects. There is no GitHub projects page, but this is it. You should generally use a repo's issues and then pull things in your project from there. It's supposed to use your project for everything. It's unwieldy. Also, adding all of the project specific information at first is a lot of cognitive load, e.g. which iteration or milestone, which priority, etc. Sometimes things like that can't even be determined at the time that the issue is created, only when it's assigned, about to be assigned. Okay, so the other thing about this stream, I didn't start stream on YouTube. Okay, that is probably a result of me not having made that public properly. I might have forgotten it. Oh wait, no, it should be online. It says 3 watching now. Yeah. Is it not playing when you go to... Actually, I guess let's just do this in incognito tab. If we go to Adam Learns. Yeah, I think it's live. Okay. But anyway, the other thing I want to say is that I don't really mind if productivity tanks a little bit today. This is sort of an experimental stream, so I'll probably be chatting more than I normally do. So feel free to strike up any conversations you want while I organize this list. You know this thing exists after filing an issue, right? Yes, but this is only when you assign it to a project. So what I'm saying is if you only make an issue and you don't assign it to a project, then you don't need to pick any of these things. And originally we were assigning everything to the project. Tuesday indeed, Chef Alden. Tuesday indeed. Oh, actually what I want to start with was these bugs. I think we'll just tackle this on Wednesday. In fact, let's just bump all this down here. How do where does this go? Battle stats, tooltips are truncated by the slot itself. See the first instance slot in the picture below. Yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. This is done. Yeah, clean out this list. That's all we have to do. You know, I want to make that organization course next year. And one of the things I've been thinking about is how do you stay either clean or organized? And I think there are the 2 general, like high level ways. One is do something as you go or as it comes up. And the other is do a whole lot of something at particular times. And you can combine these, of course. But I think people who are generally clean are not just spending, 3 hours on a Saturday getting their place to be clean. They're just kind of clean people and clean up as they go. This is counter to what I'm doing. Actually, I let all of this stuff accumulate. But hey, I don't know. Sometimes it's easier and you don't want to change focus. Starting one conversation using GitHub for tasks. Kidding, it's dinner time. Just want to allocate like GitHub. I think, okay, so you don't have a problem with issues, right? And I know you said kidding, but I'm already jumping on this. I think issues are good on GitHub. I don't have a problem with them. I think the projects are also good. I think the problem is always using the project is not good. So project's good, issues good. Yeah. Hey, Caleb. It's actually leans, not learns. We're talking about poor hygiene? No, we're talking about organization habits and how I let this get this bad. All right, so include Paladin. This is a reference to a private Discord message. And I think we have, what am I doing? Paladin. We have most of this already kind of figured out. IMO, this issue is about designing the Paladin, not about coding it. So I think I'll make a new issue for coding it. Adam Leans live. All right, code the Paladin. C174 the design. C this Discord message for the graphics. By the way, I can show you the Discord message. Let me load this up. Or I can show you the graphics, I guess. In fact, maybe I already have it saved somewhere. Open in browser. So I like it. Cool character. Has a helmet and a cloak. I think the original design didn't have the like feather thing on top of the hat. Yeah. Just slightly different helmet structure, I guess. But yeah, I like it. I think it'd be cool. Show your accumulation and work today as a consequence of using that explicitly. This stuff is me not filing it anywhere other than in my to-do list. So this wasn't a result of doing something wrong in GitHub, I guess. This was just me saying it's easier to type 2 words and make a link to it in my to-do list than it was to do it anywhere else. You ever worry having so many issues might look bad? I have a public repo for game mods I make, and it has 20 issues of ideas I had to make. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I think for public repos, it might. Because if you go to something like the Godot GitHub, it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence when you see this 5K plus up here, and it turns out it's actually closer to 11,000. But I think it all depends on what you use the issues for. So for example, if you're using it for ideas, maybe you want to move those ideas somewhere else, unless it's that other people using this public repo can act on those ideas. But even then, maybe it's worth having just a public document with 20 ideas, and people could tackle it from there, something like that. And my old last name was 13531. All right, see this for the design, see this for the graphics. Yeah, submit. All right. Oh, by the way, something that's kind of fun to do. I use fun loosely here, but we have 354 lines to begin with. 354 lines to begin with. This would already be filled, and you would not have to refill them somewhere else. Yeah, but I'm not the only person who can do these tasks, so I'm not sure. I guess I could publicize the to-do list to share it with Darkstorm. I'm just concerned it's not very organized. Like searching through this giant list for a task you can take off is, I mean, I know there'd just be a giant list of issues on GitHub, but yeah, maybe in the future I'm torn on that. Yeah. Fine with waiting for issue conversion. Right. I guess in my mind, it's a trade-off of sort of organization of the information, ease of creating it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And like who should tackle it. Some of these are probably issues I need to just do. Anyway, we'll see. Could try linear for one project. At least it wouldn't be as bad as GitHub. It's not convenient, not made for power users. Linear. Okay, typing linear organization did not find anything. Plan and build projects. Interesting. This looks like GitHub projects to some extent. I think I like the idea of these being issues. I think maybe one of the things I should do is make it easier to file an issue so that it does take kind of too long. I guess that's the other problem though. It's like these things allow for saving and loading buildings. We have a save issue and I need to keep track of all this stuff somewhere. Yeah. Non-compete clause. We got 270 issues on GitHub and they're all things that would be nice to do, but don't impact the core UX. Yeah, I think that's where labels can help. A lot of things are like P2s and maybe they never get touched. Although I also think having some limit on how long those can stay open for is good. It's like if someone cares enough, then maybe it gets done. Well, otherwise, I think there's this limbo where a lot of issues just eventually stay. It's like, well, this would be nice to have, but no one's ever going to do it. And it's maybe not even that fast to do. UI message. Some of these things I just wanted to do now, actually. Where is UI message? Floating text scenario. None of these should exist anymore, right? Ah, but they still do. Okay. Convert all floating text that uses UI message to be notifier. There we go. Using linear in your company, it's interesting. Milestones, timelines, and very good integrations with Git. I feel like it's similar to GitHub projects. I've been pretty happy with GitHub projects, actually. It's all just backed by issues anyway. So if you, in a commit message, type something like fixes 143, it does what you'd expect. Hang on one second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, then delete the UI message. Is capitalized or not? Yeah, it is. Delete the UI message and new value altogether. Cool. Save and load items on the ground. So we should have some giant save issue, right? Save battle stats, save auto battle settings. I just made this separate stuff. I think we should make some save mega issue. You know what would be nice is bookmarking this on my homepage. New issue. And should we give it a hotkey? I? Yeah, sure. CP homepage. Nice. Click on the label, should be easier to find. Oh, yeah, but the problem is I want it all in one spot, not in many. Save/load mega issue. This could be a directory for other ones, but I think we'll just put everything in here. Save and load items that are on the ground. Allow for saving and loading buildings. Save/load the nudge in the guild master. What else do we have about saving? Save that you paid for an adventurer but haven't hired them yet. This only affects the beginning of the game. Probably not a huge issue. Load from a save file is already a max level. Save, what is this? Instance man, oh, this is different. Task for saving device settings. We already did this. Yeah, although I guess the task is to make sure that they don't roam. Make sure we don't roam device specific settings when we allow for roaming save files on Steam. Any other saving stuff? I guess any of the ones that we had existing. Save battle state. And maybe we just lump it into there. Yeah, I don't mind just referring to these. No reason to close the other ones. Existing issues. What else? What else? What else? This one. Offer saving parties. I think that one was a little bit different. Yeah, this was a little bit different, although that should be done too. All right, so what else do we have? 182, 178, 177. There. Okay. One last thing here. We should probably make all these be checkboxes. There. They want to search for save related ones. That's what I mean, the label. Yeah, I really should be labeling these too, I guess. I think this is part of the thing that like what Hideo said is correct. This is a lot of work to just keep track of tasks. But I also don't like the state I got into before where I had a bunch of to-do items. Like I'm unhappy either way. And I don't know which is the lesser of the two evils. Is this adventurers? Yeah, do we have anything about classes? No, adventurers. Actually, I kind of want to do some of this work now. Man, a lot of what we've done in the last 4 streams or whatever was like, okay, new player experience, resolution stuff. This was kind of fun, post-battle stats, but more scaling issues and whatever else. Those aren't really game tasks. They're just like launch tasks. I'm just furious at all types of project management. I just hate projects. Yeah, and I kind of mentioned this before, but you set out whenever you're starting on a hobby project or a passion project or a new business or something, you set out maybe thinking, oh, I'm just going to be doing game development because I'm a game developer. And then you find out, wait a second, I'm doing all this extra work. And I think with a game, you're like, oh, I'm going to be coding the game most of the time. But sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're digging into engine code. Sometimes you're tackling a bug that came up and not working on new game stuff. So when I read something like Code the Paladin, it's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. I want to do that. UI, UX. I think this is a UI thing more than UX. Launch checkpoint 3. Okay. Okay, make sure we don't roam device specific settings. Make sure, actually I could just copy paste this into there. Yep. All right, idea, hold advanced stats. This I'm gonna put in the design document. Did I get that to an amicable state in the end? I'll show you what I have. It's good enough for now, but it needs to, the UI needs to improve. Like we need the game options in its own menu, but for now it's just here. And this is the only option that's there, is changing the game scale. So it is working. It's doing what it should. On a Mac, if you have a Retina display, it auto detects it should be at 2x. In fact, maybe in the future, what we should do is we should have some sort of like hover over thing over here to tell you, hey, you're on a Retina display, which is why we chose 2x for you. Then again, I mean, whatever you think looks good is what you can use. So maybe we don't need to tell you anything. But yeah, 2x is what I would want. And the reason why is because that's what... Uh-oh. That's not good. Hang on a second. Oh, there are the battles. What? I think scaling the game up and down made the window too large, and then I just couldn't see the battles. Yes, I think that's what happened. So if I just maximize this, it works? Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah. So if I set this to 4x, the minimum window size gets to be gigantic because you just shouldn't really be using this. And then when you set it back to here, the window size doesn't change again. Yeah, hey, unknown. Yep, Tuesday stream. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe if you change the game scale, we should limit the size of the window to the size of your monitor. Whatever, I'll just file an issue with it right now. When changing the game scale, limit the size of the window to the size of your monitor. E.g. right now, I can make battles appear off the bottom of the screen by clicking 4x and then 2x. This is because the window gets gigantic when set to 4x. Our current resolution on 4x scale is like a TV resolution. Yeah, I don't even know what's the largest resolution that people actually buy. Ultra wide monitor resolution. Ultra wide formats. Extra wide. I just want to know how many pixels they usually put on these screen. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow, that is a ton. I don't know how common these are, though. I guess we'd have to look at Amazon or something and see what are monitors that are actually selling. And then look at Steam and see what the percentage of those things are. 10K resolution. I'll just say this. I think probably no one's going to really use this 4X thing, but who knows? Maybe someone does, right? I think they could. And if they want to, then I don't feel like I should stop them. All right, so game scale. I don't even know what this would have to do with UI, I guess. Okay, so healing, stats, etc. Let's put this over here as an idea. Show more battle stats, perhaps hidden behind an advanced button or dialogue. E.g., we could make it so that you click an adventurer to see a breakdown of healing done, healing received, damage received, dodges, and even damage done per ability. There could also be history for any of these stats. I don't think we're going to do this. APX. This only really matters when you make a Game Boy size pixel art game, so you scale up to 5 or 6. I think that's probably correct. Like, I think no matter how big my monitor is, as long as I can read stuff on the screen, it's fine. Probably most people are going to use 1 and 2. And actually, honestly, probably most people won't even look at this because it's eventually going to be in the game options, and we just don't have game options yet. Will I ever have the actual viewable part of the game in 1440? Literally can't see across the entire screen without turning my head. I see. Yeah, but even at 1440p, I think you'd probably have this set to 2x. Maybe 1x. I don't know. Yeah, I'd be interested, Chris, if you play checkpoint number 3 when I launch this, probably at the end of the month, I'd be interested to know if you have any issues actually playing the game and which one of these things you choose. That could be a good thing to know. All right, that's done. We had the history thing. Where is that? No, must be somewhere else. Wait, where is that? Allow for saving parties. No, oh, there it was. Yeah, I have it as an idea in here. See the already finished issue. Feel the size of UI should be in the first onboarding screens, like setting lightness in horror dark games for accessibility purposes. I'm torn on this because the way I see it is the title screen should have an options section, and then in game you should always be able to access options. So if the UI is tiny at first, it'd be a one-time change you'd have to make. But I don't think people are going to want to make changes the first thing you do when you open the game. And I'm basing this on what I see other games do, like Terraria and Stardew Valley. They have the same structure. There's at least I think Stardew has an options thing on the title screen, but Terraria does, and you can change these things if you want to. You don't want to have to look for the UI scaling if you need it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I've seen horror games do that where they have you adjust the darkness. Although I think that's a greater impact on the general player. I just think the issue is that it's one more step to get into the game. It takes your immersion out, and also most players probably aren't going to change it. And the ones who do, they'll have access to an ability to change it. And I guess if they have a problem changing that, there could be instructions on how to do it from the command line or something. I don't think I'd want your first experience to be like, double click the executable, set your UI size. You're like, I don't even know what this looks like. I don't know if I like this game yet. All right, where'd the rest of this stuff go? Here it is. I forget about the time to play metric all the time. Yeah, and I think this even holds true for tutorials. There's like, I think you need to teach players pretty much the bare minimum that will make them not quit the game and that they feel like they know what they need to do. And unfortunately, the average bare minimum is more than I think what power players would want. So it's like when I start a new game, sometimes I just feel like I'm being beaten over the head with a tutorial. It's frustrating because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could figure all this stuff out, and they're not telling me complicated things. You're safe to Forza 1X scale initially on 1080 screens. Well, the other thing too, actually, now that I think about it, I guess if you have trouble viewing this, like let's say this is too small for you, you can just use the OS level zoom, which you must be used to if you need accessibility help in games, and then eventually make it to the setting where you change it and then turn off the OS level zoom. So I think that's even less of an, anyway, I'm not going to harp on this, but I feel like it's not going to be a big deal. Mac only. Well, on Windows, you can press Windows key plus. I think every OS that people use nowadays has some sort of zoom, even phone OSs. Prevent you from clicking the guild master when the nudge dialog is open. This is some like really minor thing we have to do. I wonder if I should just do this now. The thing we had to do is this, just wait for this nudge to pop up. Is it going to pop up? Oh no, because I've already started a battle. How does it know? No, wait. Oh, interesting. That's not a state you're supposed to be able to get into, I guess. I never use OS level zoom. Oh yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if you are a user who needs accessibility settings, typically you would start with your OS's accessibility settings. So you never using the OS level zoom is fine because you probably don't need those settings ever. But if you do need them, then you would know about them, because otherwise how would you be using your computer in the first place? Always opens the settings on first play. Only because no one ever has subtitles as a default. I sometimes do. I guess I sometimes look at the graphics settings. Did I create the game assets myself? No, I did not. Some of them are from an asset pack, and then some are now custom made by Quickie Joe. And hey, Grace, yeah, it's going well. I am streaming on a Tuesday. I just wanted to do a hangout stream, not focus on productivity as much, just try to get through this list. And the list is just organizing it more than it is doing anything. All right, where is the nudge dialogue? It's not now. I think you have to hire your first adventurer. Yeah, it must be. All right, so we hire an adventurer. And it should say what to do now. Yes, there. Okay, but you can click the... Oh, you can't. Wait, did I already fix this? What? I don't remember fixing this. Did I add code for this? Oh, wow, look at that. I already did this. Okay, cool. Well, then we're done with that. I believe it looks okay on Mac OS, not as pixelized. There are multiple ways you can do that on Windows. Also, the Mac OS thing might just be because it's a Retina display. I'm not sure. Assuming you already checked the Steam hardware survey for the resolutions. Yeah. Yeah, and what they report is that 1080p is like 70% or 50% or something like that. It's the biggest one by far. And then the next is, I think, 1440p. And then everything else is like less than 3%. So I think we've optimized for the right things right now. All right, add summoner and the summon to the game. We didn't actually design the summoner, so we got to do that first. Add the summoner to the game. Do I already have something about this? Nope. I think there was just allow for summons. Yeah. Finish designing the class itself. Then add the graphics. Summoner, summon. Summoner is here. Summon is here. Did I start designing it? I don't even remember. No, I only made the cleric. Well, I'll show you the graphics that I have for this. Let me pull this up. All right, so here's the summoner. And here is their summon. So I'm very happy with these graphics. I like these. There were a couple different ways we could go with a summoner. And the high level ways are lots of summons or like one summon. Could be one summon per battle or once every so often. So I'm not sure which one we want to do for this one, but we'll probably have two different summoner classes. So we'll probably just make them distinct enough from one another. Oh, the macOS Zoom does magic? Interesting. Huh. I guess the text looks a little bit jagged here, so it's probably not doing anything special, but maybe other windows are different. No, I don't think it is. I'm not sure. A fluffy little hamster. We could have had that. Adventurers. Okay, this isn't fixed. We should make our own tooltip labels. Did anyone comment on this, I wonder? Sounds like it's related to this. Is this the one from 3 weeks ago? No, it isn't. Oh, I did not find this issue when I searched for it. Interesting. I wonder if this has the term content scale factor in it. Let's find out. It does. Yeah, it does. Okay. This has been open for a long time. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but yeah, make our own custom tooltip if we haven't done this. Okay, and I know that Dark added this. This got closed in favor of this. We should make our custom tooltip that'll be rendered with correct font sharpness and judging by the date on the issue. We won't get it fixed anytime soon. Also gives us an opportunity for custom styling with graphics or icons. Yep, sounds reasonable. Okay. Consider letting adventurers hold items and just have them draw. Oh yeah, okay, this is a big topic. So let's run through this. Originally, only workers could hold items. Adventurers didn't even exist in town. And when I say originally, I mean like V0.1. Then we showed adventurers in town. I guess the result is people were confused about whether they'd even hired an adventurer since there was no obvious change. Then we started showing, wait a sec, my timeline right on this? Didn't we have a version in between? I've only done 2 checkpoints. Huh. Anyway, then we started showing adventurers in town and allowed them to pick up items. People liked seeing the adventurers, but they were confused about how adventurers disappeared to enter battles and thought any held items were lost. So then, as a result, I stopped allowing them to hold items. You mean like equipping? No. Hey, Brestle. So the big question is, should adventurers be able to hold items or like restock items, move items, hold/move items if they're not battling? And then what happens when they start to battle? So our options are, option number 1 is don't allow ever holding items. Option number 2 is allow holding items. 2A would be when entering battle, drop the items on the ground. 2B would be when entering battle, or like, I guess don't allow entering battle until they're no longer holding an item. And 2C would be, I don't know. Great way to start their week. Oh man. Are you able to just rest though and recover? Could they hold hands? Yes. They gain superpowers when they do that. So if we did this, then you would really want more workers. If we did this, then you might occasionally want to stop your adventurers from battling. I guess 2C would be let them take the items into battle like they did originally. I think this is confusing though. You might occasionally want to stop your adventurers from battling so that you could process more items. Oh no, Pretzel. That's too bad. I mean, at least you get to rest. Are we back to hiring workers? Well, so the plan was that if you couldn't have adventurers hold items, that we would probably put a little bit more stock into this cloning stuff and into like automatically moving items to the right spot. So right now they pop out of the portal, but what if they just automatically went into your storeroom because of an upgrade that you got? So basically reduce your reliance on the workers you have a little bit, get them to be faster, get there to be more workers, get the loot to just teleport into your storeroom. I'm not sure. Hey, Mystical Cell. I'm doing well. How are you doing? Mini PC arrived today, proceeded to install a Linux distro and messed up. Oh, no A to C adapter. That should be easy enough to get though. In fact, your work might have one. You could just borrow one. Although I would probably just buy one. They're usually pretty cheap too. And maybe you could do a network boot. Okay, so leaning toward option number 1. Oh, you just come down with COVID. Oh no, you and a pretzel. Let's say the skeleton perfectly splits his bones in half, and now you have 2 skeletons. Do you rinse in milk and repeat, or just? I don't understand. I think the cloning thing is explanation enough. But yeah, I think I'm leaning toward option number 1. It's just less complexity. But then there's no real reason for your adventurers to be in town at all, other than for visual satisfaction. Oh no, another COVID case. They're spreading through chat, I think. So you need to start a cow farm so that you can get ribeyes, which are a skeleton's favorite food. Oh, I was already sick. I'm done now. I'm through being sick for a while. Now that you mentioned it, I'm feeling kind of weird. Oh no, it's spreading. I'm still next. Well, maybe it's just a long time from now then. I liked the tension of having your adventurers perform multiple roles. Like you make them battle, and then when they're done, you do have to think of, okay, should I be repeating this, or do I have too many items in my storeroom? if we do allow adventurers to hold items, maybe it should be an unlockable thing. That way your very first adventurer doesn't take one of your first items. Costco exists in the world of Scalaseller. They're the ones who put you out of business. Also, Vafi, I don't think I ever acknowledged your very expensive hello, but hello. All right, so okay, let's examine this option. If we allow them to hold items, which is the best? Have them drop them on the ground. I think this is clear what would be happening. An auto battle would stop you from ever even being in town. But it could lead to you just randomly dropping items somewhere. It's like this rogue is walking around. As soon as I hit repeat battle, they just disappear. I guess they'd have to run to the portal. And they could just drop off the item once they reach the portal. Maybe, you know what? Maybe what you do... Maybe the upgrade that moves items into the storeroom is more like moves any item on the ground to the storeroom if there's space. Is 1 worker and 2 clone points enough to sustain the last instance? No, it isn't. But that wasn't like we haven't finished fleshing this out. I basically just stopped adventurers from picking stuff up. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward them just dropping items on the ground. Yeah. It feels so odd. I mean, it's also different content from what I normally do. Yeah, I think we should do this. I think we should try it out at least. The only issue, could they finish what they're doing and then go to battle? They could, but it makes it much harder to form a party. So imagine you're trying to form a party for this thing and you're like, okay, I want these 4 people, and click start battle. And now they need to all end up at their destinations and there's just like a little loading icon or something. I think I'd rather that they just immediately scurry to the portal and go in. Or they just teleport, which is what they do now. Oh, there's another tiny thing we should probably do. We'll probably make adventurers always come out of the portal when done with a battle, even if they didn't have to go in to begin with. Can't be more than like 5 seconds. Maybe you got some really slow adventurers. Yeah, that's true. But I think that dropping items where they were standing is probably good. Hi, cat. Hi. You want to help me organize stuff? Okay. Yeah, you can sit on my lap. Okay. Lay down. Good girl. What a good cat. She's purring already. I like hardly touched her. Hey, Woodcut. Scurry to portal, drop item, enter portal, finish battle, exit portal, pick up item, and continue. The items could disappear when they're on the ground, and also you might enter an auto battle loop. So you could do something like this, where you click auto battle, and then they never really leave the battle. How old is she? She's about 2, I think. Does she have a botland defense? Yes. It's unbeatable. Hi. Oh, what a soft cat. She's just purring so loudly. I'm almost certain there's no way you'd be able to hear it, but maybe she'll brush up against the mic or something. She's tiny. She's like a normal sized cat, I think. Didn't like disappear. Yeah, let me show you. Oh, actually, you can see it right now. Yeah, I just made that change maybe like, I don't know, some small number of streams ago. Yeah. Yeah, we love Abby. She's a very good cat. Let me see if she'll allow me to type. Her paw's like on my hand right now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, at the time of writing this, she hasn't been on the stream yet. That's not true anymore. I gotta go change that command. She's rubbing her face against my hand. Ecom Abby. No, stop typing. Get off the keyboard. What did she do? I can't type anymore. No, hey, this wasn't meant to be. All right, her name is Abby. She was probably about 1.5 when we adopted her. This is my command. She's like, I've always wanted to use a corn keyboard. All right, I like this idea. The portal stuff, I wonder if we have... Could you stop, please? Hey, come over here. Abby. Good girl. Okay. What's the advantage of a split keyboard? In short, it's that my hands are only, or my fingers are only ever 1 unit away from where they need to be. So you ideally type more accurately. You have less hand movement. So it's an ergonomics and comfort thing, and then possibly an accuracy thing. Will you let me code, do stuff here? I think she's very starved for attention right now. And she takes offense whenever I use the keyboard. She's like, your hands are not on my body right now. They should be petting me. They aren't. All right, I definitely want to do this. Man, what is going on here? My keyboard isn't working. All right, there we go. Portal. You get to new locations, animated portal graphic. Huh. I don't think I have that written down. I don't think I have them running to a portal or anything either. Adventurer. How much time do you sink into the setup of software and your shortcuts? A pretty good amount of time. Like many, many hours, I would say. So for 1 for more cat, 2 for more organization. Shoulder and hand placement. Yeah, that's true too. You could even position your mouse between the 2 halves of your keyboard if you have a split one. Oh, sorry. I said the advantage of a split keyboard, not the advantage of the corn. Never mind. I answered the wrong thing. Yeah, a split keyboard is mostly just you can position it on your desk in what makes the most sense for you. So you're not having any strain in your wrists or your arms. Okay, will you sit down? Please. Will you? Hi. All right. Did we write anything about running to the portal? Oh, add a flea button. I forgot about that. Is this done? No, stay over here. Oh, this is not done. It's not totally done yet. We need to still show the abilities that you have. All right, I'm not going to worry about that just yet. If she would just sit down, this would be totally fine. But she's like, whoa, hey, careful, 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 careful. Whoa, hold on, stop. You wrapped yourself in the cable. Abby. Okay, hold on. I gotta unplug my mic for a second. All right, working again. Oh my God. Okay, I might have to move her out of the room. If she would just sit down. Cat 1, Mike 0. Come on, sit down. It's too hard to go back to regular keyboards. I found it was too hard to get into the ErgoDox. Give the kitty a treat. I'm petting her. Isn't that treat enough? Just sit down. Feed her. We feed her at 2 set times in the day. So 8 o'clock and then 5 o'clock. I don't think she's hungry, by the way. I think she just does want attention. She's not like trying to lead me over somewhere else. Corn is easier than the Ergodox. I wouldn't say it's that it's easier. It's that I finally sat down and applied the effort coming up with a layout. With the Ergodox, I think the trap that I fell into is that it has enough keys that I didn't want to learn a new way of using it. So it has enough keys where you could say like this one is shift and this one's control and this one is alt or something like that. And then you just end up contorting your hands in weird ways, even though you have these thumb keys. So yeah, now that I finally put the time into making a proper layout, I don't have that issue. Oh man, she really won't sit still. All right, I might need to move you, cat. I'll give you one more opportunity. Might I? All right. Yes, she's sitting down. All right. Allow adventurers to hold items. So after flipping back and forth on this, I think it's best to have the tension between having an adventurer do battle and help out in the town. Okay, she's like really clawing at my hand right now. What are you doing, cat? She like really doesn't like me just using the computer. All right, hang on. I'll get up. I'll be right back. Come on, Abby. Come on, girl. Okay. Narrowed my Moonlander a bunch, not using most of the surrounding edge keys. Yeah, I feel like that's the way to go if you're going to try a different keyboard layout too. It's a nice precursor to actually getting something like a Corn or just any smaller keyboard layout. All right, after flipping back and forth on this, I think it's best to have the tension between having an adventurer do battle and help out in the town. The problem that we had when we originally had them moving items is that they would disappear from the town in order to do battle, and their items would go with them. People thought the items were just deleted. So here's what I think we should try. Do you have a, I think you mean a, oh wait, no, Stream Deck, I see. I don't have a Stream Deck, no. I have some keyboard commands, I have some voice commands, and then in that particular case, I didn't have anything to turn off my camera, I just clicked the button. I don't really have complicated scene layouts or something. I really try to have a minimalist OBS approach. Just, 2 cameras and my screen. No audio or anything. A lot of the items are just deleted. So step 1 is going to be copy all this stuff over there. Allow adventurers to hold items again. Make adventurers drop items upon entering battle. They should have their drop timers reset. I don't think that's necessary. All right, prevent adventurers from re-entering town if auto battling is enabled. And when adventurers finish a battle, they should pop out of the portal. There was one other thing I wanted to do. Oh yeah. We should potentially have the adventurers walk to the portal to be able to enter the battle. Barring that, just fade them out in the town. Oh yeah. Maybe lock this behind a player-wide skill that you can get somewhat early on. Is it under the monitor, above it? It's above it. It's resting on top of the monitor right now. Okay, I think this is really important. I think we need to do this for the next checkpoint. Items. Oops, we don't need that. I think it's good. I think what Goldskin has said is that it was easier, or sorry, it was too hard to go back, like too hard to swap between two keyboards. I didn't go into work all that often when I worked at Google, but when I did, I would bring this keyboard with me. And it travels well enough. It's really annoying to like take down and then set up a keyboard every day that you go to work. I didn't even go in that often. I think it's probably easier if it's a wireless keyboard. Walking the portal would be annoying in some cases, like when they're in the shop, assuming it's the longest path. While that's true, we don't necessarily have to go with that route. And the other thing that I have in mind is that probably most people would just have auto battling and then they would never leave the portal. They would just stay inside a like limbo territory here and just keep battling. I set up and take down my whole setup every time I go to the office. Oh man. I don't think I'd want to do that, but hey, Ryan. Yeah. Okay. I like this task. I just need to make sure that we have it set before we do the next milestone. Fix adventurers holding items. Resolution. I think this is done. Post battle stats are also done. Yeah. Oh man, we are making good progress. Not today. I mean, today is just organizing stuff. But when I look at the game overall, it's coming along. So add question for checkpoint number 3. Is the resolution good? Yeah, so somewhere here we have a feedback form. Where is that? This one maybe? Okay, yeah, I think it's this one. Where's the bit about the feedback form? Here it is. Add a question about resolution, text crispness, and maybe which scaling level they're using. Offer to buy a keyboard and mouse when they join. Yeah, I don't think I've ever worked at a place where they didn't offer me a keyboard and mouse or just gave me a laptop, I guess. But I think I've always used a custom mouse. I remember back in the Microsoft days, I used a Cyborg MMO7. This was quite the mouse. Everyone says it looks like a transformer. And I think it was the first mouse I used with a shift button on it. I don't think there's a picture of the shift button anywhere. Oh, this one has it. Yeah, it's not even easy to tell what it is. But this right here, I think was a button, and it was natural enough to press. And when you held this, it changed the function of the other keys on the mouse. It also had a little like joystick nub right there. This mouse is pretty cool. The other one that I had that was nuts was the War Mouse Meta. It has the most buttons I think I've ever seen on the top of a mouse. Mice with a lot of buttons are usually on the side of the mouse. And it's had a proper joystick on the side. I really liked this. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty usable too. And it's too bad you can't really get one anymore. Wait, they still have a website. They're not selling this, right? Okay, well, I'm going to assume that this is not something I want to go to. Yeah. Hey, Conf. Don't know how to fix the sprite bleed. Try different settings. The camera can still be moved in subpixel space, which creates the bleed issue. Maybe we could force snap the camera to integer position. One of the ways we could fix it, and I know this isn't great, but we could just fix it at the asset layer. If we opened up really any of these things, like this one, if we put a 1 pixel space between all of these images, it would probably fix it. So I can download it illegally. Oh man. I feel like I should just give you a free copy, Roots. Spacing does not matter? What, really? It should. Because the way that it's bleeding should be from this sprite on top, right? I guess it's bleeding in a way that... Why is this happening? It's bleeding in a way that is a wider line. So maybe it is something else. Hey, Goose. Yeah, late stream. Also, just the fact that there is a stream today. Very different. Someone had a couple pixel spacing. Oh, and it didn't work for them? Oh, man. All right, well, that changes quite a lot. I guess we could... No, I don't know. Yeah. Didn't realize Bing search quality is on par with Google. It's definitely not. The reason I'm using it is because I'm basically getting paid to use it. You see up here how it says 17,000 points? That's roughly $15. And I don't know how long it took to get that many, although you could just look through past streams, I guess. But yeah, it pays for Amazon purchases. And anyone can sign up. It's not like it's some special thing or an affiliate thing. They don't even have referral bonuses anymore. All right, I think we're good on this. I modified the feedback thing. Yep. Fixed path finding so the characters don't walk off the paths. I want to try this right now. I want to see how this works. If we go to Adventurer and just change the collision shape to be larger, is that all we need to do? That's pretty good. Yeah, there. All right, now grant most things, build a guild. Okay, they do get stuck when you do that. They eventually unstick themselves. No, they don't always unstick themselves. I want to see their paths. No, not visible navigation, visible paths. I guess we need to restart this. Why are their paths not visible? Oh, there's some stupid thing you got to do. Where is it? Like a debug enabled equals true. I think that's what you need to do. Then I think they'll render. The dactyl keyboards always struck me as something you need to like customize to your hand. They look neat though. I mean, it pretty much just looks like a corn. All right, now the paths are rendering. So what I'd like, I think ideally, is for the paths to target the middle of the walkable area. Is there a way around this? Can we give a navigation agent some a size? Navigation agent. Tiny collision was a solution to them getting stuck. I guess so. I don't know what we do about this. Oh wait, I have an idea of what we could do about it, but I don't think this is going to work all that well. So what do we have here? Simplify path, simplify epsilon. Radius. Well, let's look this up. Godot navigation agent 2D. Try showing the nav polygon. Yeah, there's a show navigation checkbox. I think the way you're supposed to fix this is actually by changing the navigation region. This. And I think you're supposed to set this to a higher value. The distance to erode or shrink the walkable surface when baking the navigation mesh. But the problem is we can't set this to any higher than 8 because then it breaks. But if we set it to like 16, because that's the size of the characters, then they might path around the walkable space correctly. Yeah, they can only path in here now. Yeah, they can't leave this place. Hey, Syntonic. Oh man. That's their home now. If we change it to 12, does this change on the fly? It might. If I change it to 8 and they leave that place, then we know that it does. No, it doesn't seem to. Oh man, I gotta stop the camera from being locked. There's a problem when you actually see the baked areas. I have this feature on, right? Yeah. That's because it got better than Google. Then, oh. Google feels like it's gotten worse. Yeah, I feel like that happened right around when AI started becoming a viable option for people to search. I don't know if it's related. So the problem is that the navigation is done on like 1 pixel. So you can form paths between these things, but your character might not be 1 pixel big. And in the case that it's not 1 pixel big, it doesn't accommodate having a larger navigation agent. The way you're supposed to change that, I think, is this radius. So if I set this down to 1, or actually 0, for example. Yeah, let's set it to 0. Let's take a picture of this. So this is with it set to 8px. And this is with it set to 0. I think it means it can go even farther off the paths now. Yeah, you can see the full path is lit up. I'll move this into GIMP so that we can actually see this. From clipboard, so that's 8 pixels, and this is 6, or this is 0. So now you can see they can walk anywhere on the grass. And I guess you can't set it to 0 or else they don't move. But I guess if you set it to 1, maybe it works. No, it still doesn't. Yeah, so we need to pull away from the collision areas. And we can't pull away too much because then they have nowhere to walk. So we said this is 6, for example. They'll walk even farther off the path, I guess. Yeah, you can see them sort of stepping off of the path, especially to cut corners. Hey, TJ, stream's going well. Just doing some organization stuff. Make it painful when they hit the sides. They're like, ooh, ow. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about this. The only other thing I could think of is that we expand all of the walkable areas. Oh, actually, we could change the collision shapes, right? Oh, TJ, thanks for the sub. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I think we could change the collision shapes, but I don't think this is going to work very well. Because I think what we would have to do, like right now you can see it's just a full collision block here. I think what we need to do is peel it back a bit. So we draw in like a gentle collision shape, and then we set the radius to like 16. You just notice there's an unwalkable path. This? I just noticed that too. Yeah, this. They can't cross here. But this is never the final map anyway. They also can't cross over there, although that might not be due to an unwalkable path. Oh, that is due to an unwalkable path. Yeah. The forbidden intersection. All right, well, that's the only solution I can think of, is we redo the collision so that we actually draw a collision on like this tile. Am I moving this? Yes, I am. Looks like the grid isn't perfectly aligned with some of the grassy blocks. Hey, Lana. Thanks for the raid. I don't normally stream on Tuesdays, and I'm not doing anything interesting. Welcome in, everybody. Hope the stream was good. I normally am working on Skeleseller, and I guess I kind of still am today, but I'm just tackling organization tasks. I have a giant backlog of to-do items, and they shouldn't be in this document. They should be somewhere else. Adam, are you Adam Learns also? Adam _ Learns? No, that's not me. We heard it. This stream isn't interesting. I mean, it's true. I'll show you the game I'm working on. Let me turn off some of these things so that you can actually see the game. Why won't these turn off? Maybe because the game is running? Ah, there we go. Okay, so we got to make one little change before I can show you this. And I think it is this. Wait, this. Yes, revert. Okay. All right, yeah. So I've been working on Skeleseller for about maybe 4.5 calendar months now, although not that many streams. So the way the game starts is you were out adventuring and you died and you said, I want to start at my own town. I'm cutting through some things here. So in starting your own town, you need to start building the buildings here. So we have a guild. Guild is where you hire adventurers. So we can choose between a rogue and a mage. You'll eventually be able to see more about this. So we hire a mage, and there's our mage over there getting stuck on things because I clearly didn't fix this. Anyway, you send those characters into battle. So we have the start battle button at the top, and they'll automatically do battle for you and earn items. So let's just force win this battle, and some items pop out of this portal. And now that we have an item, we can build our alchemist, and they can let us sell the item. And our little worker will go drop the item off over here, and then customers will flood out of this portal and go buy the item. And with that money, you can upgrade your adventures and stuff. We've added a lot of different things over the last, I don't know, 2 weeks. So if you haven't seen this game in a while, some of the quick changes I want to show are when you have multiple battle windows now and the game window isn't large enough, you can actually scroll between these. And just being able to resize the game window is different. The font used to get super blurry and messed up. And there's also game scale buttons here. So if you're on a different size monitor or resolution, you can still see the game. And what else have we done? I think that's about it. One of the other changes I made a while ago was just having items pop out on the ground like this, and you can pick them up, and then you can put them in your storeroom if you want to. But that's not that new, I guess. Anyway, welcome in. I'm going to be hanging out for the next, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, probably chatting more than normal. I made the music too. Yep, all the music you hear right now. The music is something I have not finished yet, and I actually haven't put more time into it yet either. I need to do that. I've been trying to work on a title theme as well, but I can only play that on piano right now. I don't have that in Fruity Loop Studio. Thanks, Courageous Mayonnaise. Yeah. What did I break? Because I definitely broke something. Is that the raid sound again? Ah, Kit. It didn't send a chat message. It's weird. Oh, there it goes. Hi, everybody. Kit, I just watched your video on the Quantum AI, I want to say it was. That was very entertaining and also very informative. And also, I feel bad for you losing $400. But it was a lot of fun. Well, welcome in, new raiders. I was just showing off the game now. I'll show this again really fast. Let me just disable this. I've been working on a game called Skeleseller for a while. Whoa. Since when can you do this? Share the video? Kit's video? Kit Boga. Kit's video was this one. I think it was called Quantum AI. But yeah, I'm working on a game called Skeleseller. I want to show you this, but I need to stop something here before I do. All right, this stuff is all turned off. I don't know what I broke here. I broke something. Oh, I know what I broke. It's this. Hang on a second. I just realized this. I changed this and I changed this, and we need to turn both those things off. Okay, now I can show you the game. Are you ready, chat? Does this cost money or something to do? The border? I haven't seen that before. Anyway, this is Skeleseller. So the story is you were out adventuring and you got bitten by a snake and you got poisoned and your life is ticking down. I don't have any, thing to show you for this now. And you think, I'll just go to a town and I'll get an antidote, but there is no antidote and you die and you come back as a skeleton. So you're actually wandering around over off screen right now. And you start up your own town saying this is never gonna happen to anyone else again. So you start really simply, you build this guild, Now this character says you can hire an adventurer. You're dead, so you can't go adventure yourself anymore. So we hire a rogue. They're in town right now, and you can send them into battle. So I will send them into the forest. And battles take place automatically. It's a very laid-back game, despite that you die at the very beginning of the game. And when you win the fight, you'll get an item or two. It'll just pop out of this portal here. And then your character, this little skeleton wandering around, will go pick up the item. And now you can build an alchemist, which can host the item for you to sell it. And when you do this, it'll pop customers out of this portal, and like they can go buy the item. So with the money you earn from this, you can start leveling up your adventurers, getting different skills for them. You eventually get player-wide skill points that you have here, so you can get more workers or get better loot. You can level up, you can get more locations to unlock, you can get more adventurers, so that by the end of the game, you're fighting in like this area with 4 different adventurers. And I can move this so you can actually see this. But yeah, welcome in everybody. We're just going to be doing some organization stuff this stream. What is the purple stuff? Kit asks. And that exact thing happened to me. What is the purple stuff? I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, hi everybody. I've been working on this for a while. I've been streaming for actually, I guess, a really long time. But I was working on a game called Botland before. Some of you have probably heard about it. It's actually getting open source soon. So there's someone named Altman working on open sourcing this. And then it might be playable again once it's open sourced. The highlighted messages. Yeah. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's doing that. Is this RPG Maker? This is Godot, the game engine. And yeah, Botland's going to be open source. Oh, you buy with bits. Okay, well, thank you to the people who used that border effect. It doesn't actually tell me that you spent any bits on it, which is kind of strange. What license will you be using? I don't remember. I think Altman suggested something. Is it a complete SDK? Yeah, Godot is an open source game engine that will do all the stuff you might expect from a game engine. So it can do 2D, 3D, audio, input. It can publish to different platforms, the web. I don't know how many people have made like super popular games in it yet. The keyboard is not... Yeah, the keyboard is a Korn keyboard. I've got a command for it here. And yeah, sure, I'm happy to chat. Normally I'm trying to code and I feel like it's kind of getting in the way if I chat, which is weird because like, why would I be streaming then? Although it's for accountability, but today's a different day. So I am just hanging out. The theory behind this keyboard, because everybody always asks, is that your hands are no more than 1 unit away at any given time from a key you need to press. So you don't have to move as much as you type. So typing looks like this, which you might have seen. But yeah, not a lot of movement. And as a result of not having that many keys, you have different layers to do things. So, I've got letters here just like any other keyboard, but then I press another key and they all turn into numbers. And I press another key and they all turn into symbols and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit more cognitive load as you type. No, CORNE. Colmac layout. Yeah. I switched to Colmac a little over a year ago. I made a video on this. It was intense learning to switch. It wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to take a week and I'm going to learn it. I think you can learn the layout. You can have it in your head in probably like an hour even, but then actually learning all of the different words you have to type, all the different bigrams and trigrams you type. Is moving your index finger to the left and up 1 unit or root 2? It's a Manhattan distance of 2. I still consider it 1 unit. Keyboard is from the Matrix. Well, it does have lights on it, which I could set to fully green if I want to, although the lights only work on 1/2 of it. But it's a cool little trail effect as I type. But I broke the other half, so I just keep them off now. Is it easier on your pinky now, though? That's why I switched. Coder pinky? I don't think I ever had that issue. So I don't know. Yeah. When do you actually switch to a different layout? Only for some functional keys? You mean like the layers in the keyboard? Because yeah, anytime you see me type a number, the only way I can do that is to switch to another layer. And anytime you see me use, actually, I don't even have a backspace key. If you were to just go poking at any key, you would not find backspace. You have to press 2 keys for that. But it's pretty convenient still. Same thing with enter, the arrow keys. Like I'm in a different layer right now and cannot type letters anymore. Although if I were to prove that, I would probably destroy a lot of windows in the process. It would be jump time, but I'm just kind of skipping through breaks. Like I said, today is a pretty unique day. Normally I only stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and normally it's a proper game development. Today's about organization and just making sure I've got these tasks filed. So unfortunately, one of the things I was trying to do when the raids came in from Lana and Kiboga, which by the way, thank you both again, is I was trying to fix a navigation issue in the game. These red spots represent unwalkable paths. So, I mean, you can kind of see there's a dirt path and some stairs here. And then the red spots are the non-walkable stuff. The problem is that the way navigation agents work in Godot, and I'm going to get slightly technical here, they make a nav mesh, which is a set of polygons that says where they can walk. And those polygons are pulled in from non-walkable areas by a certain distance. The problem is that in order to pull them in far enough, we actually block off the paths completely. So as a result, characters can kind of just walk on the terrain a little bit, and you'll sort of see this here. Like, see how they cut across onto the grass right there? That should not happen. But I don't know an easy way to stop that right now, and I think we're gonna need to change all the collision on the map. I suppose go to sleep. I'll take care of Dystopian Warrior. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow if you want to check it out again. And thanks for following. How do you play games with this? I basically don't. I think if you're playing a game where all you need is WASD, then it's not too bad. But if you're trying to do anything like in a typical FPS, you typically have things for like crouch, sprint, change weapons, etc. And for that, you typically just want more physical keys. It's not like you can't play games with this. It's just not really all that great. So I just have another keyboard. All right, I'm going to file a bug for this. Where is it? God, there's so many tasks. Fix pathfinding so they don't walk off the path, yeah. Fix pathfinding so that characters don't walk off the paths. All right. I think we're going to have to change the navigation region. And what is this called? The radius? The navigation region 2D. Agent radius, but by increasing it beyond 8 pixels. Oh, you know what we could do? We could test this, I guess. Because if beyond 8 pixels, the entire map becomes unwalkable. So we probably also need to change the collision on the map to account for this. IMO, this is not a great solution. I should test this with a small chunk of the map first to see if this is even what's causing it, or if other people came up with better solutions. Yeah. Any plans for future streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays? I'm not sure. I kind of wanted to just see how this would go. What got me into coding was games, actually. I've got commands for pretty much everything, but I've got a command for what my coding journey has been. Yeah, so there it is in chat. But yeah, games got me into it, and games kind of kept my interest for a while too, which is why I'm doing game dev again. I also have a journal command here, which I try to keep up to date. I try to just have 2 bullet points at most for any given day I stream. And I've been keeping this since I got back, which was December 4th. And in that time, it's been primarily game dev. There's been some other stuff in there too. I find it keeps my attention the most. And also, it's something I'm passionate about. I really like the idea of Skeleseller, and seeing it evolve over the last, 4 months has been great. And it's just crazy to me because any program starts with there being no code originally. Like at some point, Facebook didn't exist. At some point, World of Warcraft didn't exist. And obviously, it was the same here too. And it looked very, very different when we first released the playable demo. I think what you're looking for is, the commands for my chat, they don't work with capital letters, which I gotta fix at some point. Why do you have GDoc and GitHub issues to write to-dos? Yeah, so it's a good question. I got kind of lazy and just wrote everything in here. This is a to-do list that I try to keep with just daily stuff on it. So for example, tomorrow I've got a mentoring session I'm going to be doing, and then I've got some bugs I wanted to fix. And that's not bad. That's a good way to plan your day. But then there's all this stuff I have to do at some point, and I just threw it in this backlog and let it grow practically infinitely. And now it was an 18-page document, and I need to put these things onto GitHub issues. And part of the reason why I'm not working on this game alone, I'm working on it with Darkstorm, and Darkstorm should be able to, and Quickie Joe, but Darkstorm's the other developer. Darkstorm should be able to take some of these tasks too. And if they're just in this to-do list, it's a little bit harder to see. Also, this lets me get some context in them and kind of know that they're a little bit more official. I have the same system just in Notion. Yeah, and originally when I was doing like purely solo development, I did just have a gigantic to-do list, and it would just keep growing and growing and growing. And at some point it got to be like 3,000 lines long. At that point, I think it just kind of stopped serving a purpose and needs some work done on it. Yeah, we're on 17 now. Like I said, I'm not trying to be super productive today. it's not going very fast. But I wanted to do a day like this every once in a while, because otherwise I feel like I'm really just kind of all business all the time. Yeah, there are occasional conversations that happen and I'm like, okay, back to coding. Skeleseller is a private repo. Yep. Hey, Alfred. Yeah, I've only been back to streaming as of December. So I was streaming from 2015 to 2020 and then a very long break. And then I started again, what is that, like 9 months ago? So we're coming up on the 1 year mark. All right, let's file this. Good. Consider switching fonts. This is pretty minor. There's an issue that I ran into only using bold text, and I just stopped using bold text. But if I ever want to use bold text again, I need to switch fonts. Switch fonts. This is pretty minor, but if we ever want to use bold text, then we need to use a font that doesn't have intersecting glyphs like Roboto does. We could use Inter, but we can't download it from Google Fonts. We have to download it from its source, which I believe is here. Whoops. Yeah. It's a to-do list. I like that, Jen. I've read a lot of productivity books or self-help books. And one of the most common things I find when it comes to productivity is people say, you can't do it all. You need to cut down your list somehow. So maybe pick like 1 to 3 important things per day. And I find that's generally pretty good, both for my personal life and my work life. And it also kind of sets your expectations for what you plan on getting done that day. But then there's the backlog, and the backlog just grows forever. Want to take you for your Discord community? Oh, thank me, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's come in handy. Yeah, I put a lot of content out there at this point, and I feel like I don't do a good job marketing it, and none of it really has a lot of views. Maybe I should try to do a better job at that at some point. 9 months already. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy when we hit September 1st, and now it's September 3rd. Does it apply to all Google fonts? It apparently doesn't, but it's hard to find out which ones it might apply to. Anyway, if we do this, then I wrote this here, then consider changing DPS to make damage per second bold. We do this, consider changing the DPS tool too. Yeah. All right, cool. Chat activity while coding. He's still looking at chat all the time. Questions will be answered within a minute pretty much. I guess, but conversation really has been a lot lighter than it ever used to be. I think part of it too is viewership has been dropping quite a lot, and I'm just not really pushing for it. And also I took some pretty long vacations. I think the vacation should be coming to an end though, which I know this sounds weird, but I'm a little bit happy about. I wanted to work on Skeleseller. Most people make more money on releasing the assets they use for the game than the game itself, which is often a failure. Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of a sad state of affairs. But I feel like the barrier for game dev is so low, and there are a lot of games out there. It's not like games don't do well, but it's sort of like everything else that has a low barrier to entry. Consider streaming or YouTube videos or any sort of social media. It's like anyone can be on them. So then who are the people who actually make more money than what they put into it, or time than they put into it, essentially? And it's like usually the top 1% of those people. And the top 1% is usually like, it's, I don't know, a handful of people compared to everybody else. Obviously, because it's a percentage, it's always going to be that way. But on Twitch, it's like maybe the top, I don't know, 1,000 streamers or 10,000 streamers or something out of the millions of streams that there probably have been are making like a decent amount of money. Concord News, they see sales and are issuing refunds. Oh, the Sony first-person shooter? I did not see that. Oh man, that's I don't know why I'm laughing. That's kind of sad for everyone who worked on it or who liked the game, but oh man, that's tough. Yeah, I just read an article about this. Apparently, Valve's new shooter was doing great, hasn't even been released, and Concord was just struggling. I think that's the other problem, is sort of the genre tides that happen. So RTSs were, like, I'd say pretty popular in the early 2000s, and now I just don't think they're as popular. And even MMOs have kind of dropped down a lot. I feel like World of Warcraft was probably one of the most played games at some point, had like 8 or 9 million subscribers. By the way, if anyone doesn't know this, you know what the most played game of all time now is? It's Minecraft. And it kind of makes sense when you think about it. And these are most sales. I think most playtime was Minecraft though. Although now I don't know where I read this. Oh wait, where's that? Where's that come from? Best selling video game today is Minecraft, yeah. And I think it sold a ludicrous number, right? 300 million copies worldwide. It's so crazy. So crazy. Effectively a clone of Overwatch, down to the characters and mechanics. Yeah, I haven't played Overwatch. I didn't play Concord, and I haven't really seen any Deadlock. But I think hero shooters are another thing that I feel like there can only really be 1 or 2 on the market at any given time. It's not like sports games or racing games or something. I feel like there's a lot more space for those. But I guess the problem with any hero shooter is it's typically multiplayer, and then you have to fight the zeitgeist of what people want to play. Quite an amount of money, if you ask me. Yeah, definitely. It's nuts. So let's see. Do we have anything here about game options? What is source graph? I think that's the GitHub thing. Same party. Create the settings page. Here it is. Show any relevant audio and video settings. Allow access in the title screen. Yeah, so we need to do this stuff too. Okay, you know what? It's just impossible to edit this over here. Let's just edit it here. You just start a timer, auto reject the game scale settings if you don't explicitly click a button. That way on tiny screens, clicking 4x doesn't put you into a state that you can't exit. You need to update the camera in the background immediately when you change the game scale setting. This doesn't happen now because we pause the entire game when you show that menu. Yeah, okay, let's update that. There can only be one Mario Kart. I think that's another aspect I've kind of seen lately. I feel like some games just sort of got to the point of perfection. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but like StarCraft 2 has pretty good balance, has pretty good mechanics. It's like, what would you improve if you were to improve? It's got a map system where you can just make any custom map you want to make, or almost custom games. And I think Mario Kart is another one of those games. Well, Mario Kart 8, it's just practically reached peak Mario Kart. It's like a perfect Mario Kart game at this point. Hey, Have. I wouldn't say the stream is doing well. I was rated by both Lanalux and Kitboga, so all of my viewership is pretty much attributable to them. The stream has actually been dying. I'm just streaming less than I used to, and I took some long vacations, and I think it threw off people's schedules. It's part of the reason I'm streaming on Tuesday, is just to see what it's like. And what I'm realizing is I'm way less productive than I normally would be. So even though I said I was okay with that, I don't know if I would do this again in the future, because maybe in the future I'd rather just get the productivity. And I'm not doing anything to fight this, by the way. I could just have like a focus time or something. I level up via items. I'll file this in the ideas section. Yeah. Be cool if you could level up adventures via items. Experience orders dropped and they're brought directly to guild. This could be more interesting than buying level ups. We've got about 1,000 sleeping people watching. Yeah. You could just play along. Oh no, I mean it's good. I think whoever is actually here and watching and who's like, what is this guy doing? I mean, I appreciate it for sure. I don't want to sound like I'm not grateful for it. I can't take credit for it. Is this your job, or do you do anything else for a living? This is my job right now, yeah. I'm not doing it for money. 2024 was essentially my like year of doing whatever I want. And 2025 is going to be the year of figuring out money again. And my general plan is launch Skeleseller and maybe make a course on organization. What's your intuition on what draws viewers? More of your, for lack of a better word, deeper content? I think there are a few things, and obviously people who are in chat could probably comment more than I could. But when it comes to viewership of a channel like this, I think for one, I only stream about maybe like 18 to 20 hours per week. So it's hard for people to build a schedule around this because it's like, well, if you want to watch every workday, you can't. So then you'll probably find someone else on Tuesday and Thursday. And if they just stream every single day, maybe you'll just watch them. I think the other is that the project isn't too interesting to people beyond seeing progress here and there. A lot of people come in and they're like, wow, this game's come a long way since I last saw it. And to me, again, I'm appreciative of that. I think what it signals though is that like, oh, they don't drop in a whole lot to be able to see the progress play out. And at the end of the day, this is a coding stream. And I don't think there's a whole lot of interest in watching someone code. I think it's more like there's a productivity boost you feel when there is someone else being productive around you. There are probably some other aspects. I am not marketing this at all. I'm not on any other platform really. I'm not pulling in viewers from somewhere else. And I think the issue in general with Twitch is that the discoverability of this category is just not really there. If I show you, yeah, here. Yeah, software and game dev has 3.4 thousand viewers right now. So it's like there aren't that many people just floating around the category trying to find new streams to watch. And a lot of those are coming from my channel now, which is really due to Kitboga dumping the people in here. So yeah, an extra, what, like 1,200 people that otherwise wouldn't have been here. How many checkpoints before the actual release? Probably 4, yeah. And I just haven't made the 4th checkpoint yet. Do you have any publisher for the game? Do you plan on releasing it on my own? I plan on releasing it on my own, yeah. I'll probably launch on itch and on Steam. And I'll probably do some kind of basic marketing. I'm still up in the air about what exactly I want to do for all this stuff. How we use bribery. We need to reach the people that bribe them first. Assume your streams are like a sizable majority. I don't really watch much Twitch. I used to have as a feature of the bot that I was using like a view time sort of thing, but I don't have that anymore. Yeah. More music streams. I don't think I'll do more music streams, or at least not like sitting in a piano playing stuff. I'll probably still flesh this out, although will I do that on stream? I think the problem with music streams for me is I'm not so skilled at it that I can do it quickly and like people are happy to watch it. It's like this 1 minute of music up till about here took me maybe 10 hours to make. And it's not very interactive content. It was fun. Yeah, I think it was fun for some people. And I had fun. I don't know about it as a mainstay of content. Could always potentially keep people who want to learn how others code or give advice. Yeah, I think so too. I think there's always that sort of baseline. And I think a lot of the people who come back to the stream now are the regulars who've been here for years and years. I'm seeing fewer and fewer new people, and like even the follow counts and stuff are dropping. And again, I don't really see this as a problem. I'm very clear about my goals. In fact, I have this tenets document, and these are my main things I want to stick to right now. Is just that I'm not generating tons and tons of work for myself outside of work. I am able to do this for a long amount of time, and I've got the right mentality when it comes to working toward the launch of the game. And I'm pretty happy with how things have been going. I'm happy to have this opportunity to work on stuff. And if people want to watch, that's awesome. But I'm not like spreading around the marketing. Need at least some interest in the subject, like myself. I enjoy Adam. I've only been here when Kit raids. I understand most of what's going on. Can't understand where it's hard to keep up. Yeah, and by the way, I'm always happy to explain what's going on, even if it's just at a high level of like, okay, today we're working on making it so the characters walk only on the paths. It's like, okay, that's something that's understandable. And then how I do it is probably something that would be much harder to explain. But even then, I could try to simplify it. Yeah. No, I think there were more people than UM. Yeah. I did see chat interactivity kind of die during that time. Quick Google, what happened there? I'm sure you've already answered this before. Yeah, generally anything you want to ask about is probably a command. And if you want to find out what the commands are without having to spam chat, you can always just go here and type in things like Google, and it's got a video and a document. I highly recommend watching this video if you were curious enough to ask the question, because you'll probably find it interesting. in short, so that you don't need to go watch a 10-minute video right now, I don't feel I'm compatible with large corporations. And it's like a weird thing to feel and recognize that they're like good opportunities and you're paid well. Yeah. Anyway, the video goes into more detail for sure. Yeah, so this idea, right now in the game, you literally just click a button to level up adventurers, and it costs money, and then that's it. All of your adventurers go up in level, and you get skill points for them. Problem is, that's kind of boring. So in the future, at the very least, we're gonna, instead of having a button, we're gonna have the guild master tell you something like, hey, you want to level up your adventurer, and you click a button and you can. But I think it'd be even cooler to have something like experience orbs drop, and your workers actually have to bring them to the guild, and they get dumped into an experience bucket. And we have some explanation for how that levels you up. I don't know. But yeah, just an idea. So we filed it. Yeah. And then note that if we do this, then we need to figure out what money is purchasing in the game. All right, look at this so that we finally close it out. I'm just never going to do this, am I? Yeah, I am probably never doing this. I really need to, I need to do this. Bump this up to here. What about different types of experience ores that you can store in slots that give you different bonuses? That sounds like a very unique idea. Oh, for those who don't know, Unknown's been pushing for me adding an equipment system in the game since like day one. And I'm very opposed to having an equipment system because I think that no matter what, it's going to add a level of complexity that's not needed. And if you think about equipment, there's always the like comparing stats. There's having more items in your inventory than you can use. There's then figuring out how to obtain those items. There's a UI for it all. There's a bunch of stuff. Is it time to push a PR? Yep. Large corporations are not made by and for us. Worst environment to be neurodiverse. I think... Okay, I don't think that my pushback against large corporations has to do with the sort of diversity or like thought that takes place there. I think it has to do with it's a giant machine and there's an endless amount of tasks and there's a dilution of impact almost because you are a cog in a machine. It's like a Google. I don't know the exact number now, but there's, I'm pretty sure, more than 100,000 engineers, not even employees, just engineers. So in terms of just percentage of the company, you as an individual person are very, very small. And I think the people with the most impact at the company are obviously gonna be like CEO, you know, top VPs or whatever. And so you're going to be many hops down, even if you're like an L7 or L8 at Google. And it still just feels like, if I'm going to do all this work, why not just do it for myself? And I know the answer to that. It's generally money. And it's also to some extent working with the good talent that is there. That's something I definitely believe in. But yeah, that wasn't compelling enough for me. Hey, Kelsey. Yeah, I don't even find that to be problematic, the canceling projects bit. I think it sounds like you have different issues with a big company or with Google specifically than I do. That didn't bother me too much. I think that I just want to feel fulfilled in a given day of work, and I wasn't feeling that when I was there. And I think that's the biggest, the most important thing for me. It's like if you're going to spend roughly 40 hours a week doing anything, you should ideally at least somewhat like that thing. Because otherwise, like, what is your life? For most of us, for many, many years, you're going to be working roughly 40 hours a week. So if you think of like, okay, well, I don't like today, I don't like tomorrow, I don't like the prospect of 10 months from now, at what point does that kind of change? And I think there is a lot that you can do to affect your own mentality for that. I think some amount of stoicism helps when it comes to something you don't like. I had the battle bar until you hired an adventurer. I think this is already done. Right? Yeah, it's already done. This is the nice thing about to do items every once in a while. You just accidentally complete them. Yeah, it's already done. Wow. Maybe we hide edit party and location when you only have one party member. We should hide auto battle until you've unlocked it. Yeah. If self-employment is not counted, what job has been your favorite so far? It's a good question. And it's really tough to answer. I don't know. I really didn't like any of them other than self-employment. Yeah. So it's like I'm picking from a favorite of a bunch of things I don't like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Like, there's a reason I left every company. If I'd liked it, I guess I would have stayed. Doesn't have to be a large company. I was at a small business editing audio and doing tons of extra work and got no recognition for it. Yeah, that's true. I guess what I'm comparing here is like a good small company versus a good large company. So assuming that you have the best possible experiences at both, I think some people are naturally going to gravitate toward one over the other. And actually, I've been doing, okay, so this I think was kind of interesting. I've done a bunch of interviews now with, like a varied collection of people. And this particular interview was with a friend of mine, Steve. And Steve is like a serial startup person, I would say. And the interview's there on YouTube if you want to watch it. He likes the idea of working for a company where his input can be like magnified in terms of output and just help bring this company to success, I guess. I don't think he'd work at big companies, I guess. And I know people who are on the big company side who are just like, I would never want to work at a small company. They like the impact or the number of people they get to work with, or the diversity of the work. What did I hate the least? The thing is, whenever I think back to any of those jobs, so a job is partially the work and then partially everything else. And a lot of these jobs, like the people are great, or maybe the hours are good, or maybe the benefits are good, or maybe the pay is good, or maybe the whatever commute is good, or something like that. But when I think about the work for pretty much all of them, I think I just didn't like it. I guess maybe one of the best ones is I worked at a video game company. I'm not going to even talk about the details for this, but I worked at a company, I'm not going to name the name, for some time. And it was interesting to get some insight into how the game industry works. Did I interview people when I worked at Google? Yeah, I think it was somewhere between like 20 and 30 people in the time I was there. Because I did about, I think, one a week. And then at some point there was a hiring freeze. Bigger companies didn't pay more, I'd settle for small. Yeah, everyone has an equation for their work of what they value. And it's like a sliding scale, right? Imagine that you had a slider for literally every different dimension of work you could have. And so pay for some people could be like, okay, it's here. And maybe the hours are like bumped to the maximum. Like you really care about what your hours are. And for me, the equation was more, like I said, toward what's the fulfillment for me? Like, could I see myself doing this for a long time? Do I like it? And that in itself is its own kind of equation that you might have. I think it's always important to me that I work with people that I like, or I'm around people that I like. I think it'd be impossible to do a job where I didn't like that. I think the hours are also pretty important. I still have this kind of theory that 40 hours a week is still too much. I think a lot of us have gotten much more productive than we used to be just as humans at whatever job we might be doing. And I know computers are new enough as a job where we can't compare ourselves to 200 years ago. But if you compare like agriculture, for example, we're leaps and bounds better than we were 200 years ago. And as a result, I think a lot of these things should have been ratcheted down a bit. Yeah, there's no game company thing. Sorry, I've never really talked about it. Doesn't make sense to spend like a third of your whole life doing something you don't like. Yeah. Yeah. But even then, like I said, there's that equation. And for some people, you don't really have a choice. It's like you, for whatever circumstances, maybe it's money, maybe it's location, maybe it's something else, you have to do something that maybe you're not super happy with. And when you're in that case, I feel like then your primary objective should be improve your mentality. And I think if I did not have options, I would have had to do that. But I did have options, so I never improved my mentality. That's that. Less than 40 hours, we would be more productive. I don't know, more productive. I think for some people you would. I think there's a, like, imagine if you worked 80 hours a week versus maybe like 60. I think you'd probably be more productive at 60 than you would at 80. I think both of these are unhealthy. So if you're working 40 hours versus 35, maybe you're more productive. Just that extra 5 hours. I don't know. Hey, Mahoodles. At 4-day work weeks, I think that could be interesting as well for a lot of people. And the companies that have 4-day work weeks, it's like, this is a major perk. You should definitely hire, you should work for us. And I've never officially worked for one of those jobs, but I think it would be cool. Working as an electrician, seeing other contractors was sobering. Felt like I was potentially looking at different possible futures. How is it sobering, Lachlan? I had a new comp sci PhD and referral from a Google insider, and even with that, they never called me. Not respectful of my time. A referral, I'm guessing, in Google. Yeah, a lot of these big companies don't have a really good referral pipeline. Oh, I think with smaller companies, that's usually better, because usually a referral is like you walk over to someone else's desk and say, hey, you should hire this person. You're actually talking to somebody. In a company like Google or Microsoft, you are filling out a form to an HR person you've never met, you'll never see in your life, and you never hear a response. 32 hours every weekend. What? That's nuts. So you basically wake up, work, go to sleep, wake up, work, go to sleep, and then get 5 days off. That's quite a schedule. 16 hours each day. Yeah. Yeah, that's intense. I mean, I've heard people talk about shifting this equation. Usually for most people, it's 5 days times 8 hours, right? And some people are like, okay, what if we did 4 days times 10 hours? And Kelsey is like, hold my drink. 2 days times 16 hours. One solution to the problem could be to take project-based work. It's the only way I can work for large corporations. Yeah, contracts, I think, put a level of abstraction between you and the company to the point where, and actually, by the way, the companies usually want that level of abstraction too. Like, hey, we don't give you benefits so you don't think you're an employee, and so that you don't sue us for not giving you all the benefits that other people get. But yeah, as a contractor yourself, then you get to set your hours or your vacation or your whatever other things you want to set. Yeah. Decades of research on the auto and work hours productivity. Yeah, I mean, look, this is part of living in a capitalistic market, which is it's always on you to decide what is the best input output equilibrium for me. I think I stated that in the least offensive way. So what I mean is, if you don't like all the companies that are options out there, you could always go start your own, and you could take risks yourself and set that up. And if you don't like the idea of the risks, then you go work for a company. So it's like, well, you still have a choice. Yeah, we didn't do this. This is now in the saving thing, right? The mega issue, buildings. Yeah. All right, then we're going to delete it from here. Do you still journal, or was it only for the time you worked at Google? You see any quick benefits in that? I did journal while I was at Google. Oh, wait. Oh, you're presumably talking about with the context of having watched that Google video. I do occasionally. I have a note that I think everyone should have. It's called Stream of Consciousness. And in this note, you put whatever random garbage comes to your mind. And the one that I have public here is a very like stream focused one. So it's typically me looking at my last week or something like that. But my personal list, sometimes I'm just like frustrated and I just write it down And I typically write it just like this, where I put the date and the time, and I'm just like feeling stressed because, and then whatever. Or feeling good about something, or hey, I just met this person and they've got a cool iguana or something. Like, it's just a stream of consciousness. It's whatever thing pops into my head. I do that from time to time. I have something that I think is even more important than that, which is called my stress flow chart. I've tried to basically boil my life down to what if I could have like a whole if then structure. And I realized that was stupid. So I just did it for stress. And this is like massively helpful. And it's even for other kinds of stress, like maybe you're sick for some amount of time. It's like, how best do you get better? Or maybe I suffer from back spasms every once in a while. And even that, it's like, okay, it's happening again. What did I do last time that helped me through this? But a lot of it is like the obvious mental stress sorts of things. Like, hey, this person is doing something I don't like. What have I done in the past that's helped me with that? It's a very like, I don't know, maybe it sounds like it's overkill, but it helps. I think it's good. Now it's different, lots of decisions in interviewing. Yeah. 99% of people are in no position to start their own. I would say 99% of people think they're in no position to start their own. But then you hear stories about people who do start something and don't think they were in a position to do it. I mean, I've been reading Harry Potter lately. I think that's pretty much how Harry Potter started. And now J.K. Rowling is like a multi-billionaire, right? She just like ducked into a cafe and started writing her book. I don't even think she was a writer before that. Although I might be misremembering that. Stream of Consciousness is a great Dream Theater song. Yeah, that's what gave me the idea. I actually listen to Dream Theater. What do you feel this helps you with? The stream of consciousness thing? I think that's what I was showing at the time. The stream of consciousness thing is a, hey, here's something I have that might not come in handy in the future, but just in case it does, I've got it written down somewhere. Feeling interested. Hey, Ski. And hey, Potato. We're at 1K because Kitboga and Lana Lux rated. Both great streamers, by the way. I really should be giving shout outs more often. I will give a shout out to Lana. And I sure hope that's the right person. Yes, good. Because I didn't remember the underscore or not. And then I would shout out Kit, but I think most people are here probably from Kit and already know about Kitboga. But if you haven't heard of Kitboga, please do follow Kit. This is the kind of stuff I want to tell AI, and then it can remind me. There's an AI notebook out there where you type stuff in and it just goes somewhere, I guess, and then you can use AI to recall it. But I think it'd be hard for it to tell you things that mattered that you're not even sure matter to you at the time you write them. I would have a book of those if I wrote them down. You really should consider starting it. It's free, it's easy, and it might help you down the line. I haven't heard of Kit, but Edna, yes. Yeah, Edna rated me. Thanks, Moodles. I like that stream of consciousness thing. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The other notes, I mean, if we're talking about this stuff, the other notes I think everyone should have, and these are more like boring, is a health history, a residence and job history, and yeah, I think those. This comes in handy a surprising amount. You like forget about ailments you had or when they mattered or anything else. And then this has only really helped when I end up filling out forms and then I'm like, where did I live 7 years ago? Or where did I live 10 years ago? And I'm just like, I'll just open my note. So those are coming in handy quite a lot. It's been a while. Let's find out how long it's been. Wow, 2020. Welcome back. Yeah, take a look at this. What happened? You type something else and then word everyone appeared. Oh, that's a Spanso that's doing that. You'll see this happen every once in a while. I'll type like back apostrophe O and it'll type out organization, or T for technology, or A for argument, or whatever. SOC for stream of consciousness. I find that incredibly helpful. Soul Sorcerers. Okay, now I can picture who you are. You would even stream for some time, right? In fact, I think I can write a note. How do I do this? Here. Soul Sorcerers. Super rely on notes in my ADHD, but I don't have those. It's a good idea. I think it's helpful, yeah. At least the health history one for sure. The job and the residence history doesn't come in handy too often, but every once in a while it does. What I need to do if I move to another place or something. Yeah, this is tough to maintain. And whenever I move, I inevitably forget something. And at one point I forgot to change my business address, and then the business lapsed and then I had to pay to reinstate it. I forgot. I don't know. Yeah, it's mostly stuff like that. A lot of times it's more obvious to you when it's a service you use. Like, let's say you go on Amazon and you buy stuff. It's like, okay, well, your shipping address is going to be wrong, so you know to update it. But other times it's just not at all clear to you what you even signed up for, what you need. Human mind should be used for generating ideas, not storing them. I really like that quote. Yeah, I agree with that. A while ago. Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure I can picture you. I'm pretty sure I've seen you stream. Pretty sure I can picture your accent. What's the chance of older viewers still having their Botland scripts on their gist? I mean, maybe they will. Is it a function built into the keyboard or some software? It's software. You can get it for any OS, and I love it. Yeah. I use that for a lot of different things too. Like every once in a while, you'll see me copy a link like this, and I'll type something like, check this, or I don't know, like, here's my Twitch chat or something, and I type mref, and it makes a markdown reference link to it. And that just works anywhere. Like I can do that in my console if I want to. Take care, APX. Thank you, thank you. Do you keep a brag document? No, I don't. I kind of wanted my journal to sort of act like that. Not exactly, but at least tell me what it is I worked on. Because this year, it's obvious what I'm spending my time doing. But 5 years from now, I'm not going to remember. And maybe I'll do what I did here. I sum up every day in 2 bullet points. Maybe I'll sum up every year in like 3 bullet points. And just write Skeleseller, got back to streaming, and whatever else I did. I don't know. Yeah, mentoring. So hard to think of every place I had to change address. I think I have them all now. Yeah, but you never know for sure, do you? I mean, this is like, I heard this idea a while ago, email bankruptcy, which is, you know how your inbox gets very, very large? What if you just deleted literally everything? The thought being that if something was important, they're just going to email you again, right? But that's a very scary thought. Let's delete everything. Southern UK. Yep. Congrats on getting married. Yeah. All right. I can picture who you are then. That's good. And welcome back. I've been looking at moving back to Jersey and figuring out what things I would need to start up a business. I think it's daunting at first, but then once you get set up and you're just focusing on your business, it's not too bad. I don't track calories, no. I have here and there in the past, not too much. Do that at work when I get back from vacation. That's extra dangerous. That's playing with fire. Your AI question, sorry, let me see. I must have missed it. How invested are you in AI and machine learning? Or better rephrase, Atom plus AI, yes, no, implement. How invested am I? I think AI is very promising. I think it has helped me a lot in the form of Copilot. I'm not invested to the level of like looking into companies, looking into new products. But if something, I don't know, gets big enough, I'll probably hear about it and I might try it out. Yeah. If you get fired, they'll just lock you out of your account. Yep, that's true. That is usually the worst thing that can happen at work. Getting fired and then getting locked out. This is the building system. I never added this for... These are final battle tasks. All right, let's see if we have anything written for this. How does it making flowcharts and spreadsheets understand any government related and then go, why don't they just say this? Okay, so the nice thing that I've noticed about the US, and I have not lived in many different states, but every time I've needed something from any government body, so local government, federal government, it's been fantastic. So I don't know where they get such a bad rap, and I'm not like a government apologist or something, but like the other day I had to call my city to find some like permit information. I expected an automated line. Someone just answered immediately, and then they could answer my question. And I think literally 2 minutes later, I was set. And every time I've called the IRS to ask questions about taxes, they've been knowledgeable. They've been helpful. There is a wait line in the IRS, so that's slightly slower, but I mean, speed aside, it's pretty good. Department of Licensing is always bad. But even there, it's like last time I had to go for a license related thing. I don't even remember what it was, but I went to a place that had like 3 people in it. And I don't know, I had like a friendly chat with the person who worked there, and I got done with whatever I needed to do. It really seemed like it was fine. Get laid off and working remote halfway through the "you're laid off" talk. My computer disconnected. Oh man, I'm sorry. It's only funny that you had a problem halfway through. This isn't even a thing anymore. I think this is done. Oh, never mind. This is different. I see how we can have an instance open with no battle going. I don't know if that's a problem yet either. Any other battle things we need? No, I'll just make a new issue then. Tax people lose their minds when they have to do anything self-employment. I think if the professionals don't know, there's a problem. But yeah, and like I said, it was my experience. I think that things have been pretty smooth in my experience. I had a very similar call the other day in my local government, instant answer, and they knew the answer. Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice when that happens, right? It's like, this is how things probably used to be before there were layers and layers of customer service. Funny thinking back. I mean, I would be jarred for sure. Probably be confused about what happened. Massive pain to do anything around here. Closest place of inquiry about anything is 30 minutes away. Oh man. Yeah. That is kind of middle of nowhere sort of thing. But then if you can call anybody, I guess that negates the need to travel. Blew my mind how quick and painless it was. Yeah. Like in general, I think things are pretty good with that. All right, so final touches or like usability improvements with battling is this stuff. There's some redundancy here. I'm not even going to try to fix this. I don't care. Cool. Layers of account managers in business. Yeah, I guess maybe the customer service thing is, it probably used to be, and I don't really remember these times, but it probably used to be you call a company, you got some like in-house customer support. And now you call a company and you get some, outsourced customer support. They're following a script. It's rarely, you're talking to a human, but it rarely feels like you're talking to a human. I think everybody knows what I mean. And all that stuff is probably going to go to AI soon enough anyway. Never show blank space for the map. Oh, yeah. Often badly educated due to low resources. Yeah, I think customer service is one of the first things a lot of companies want to cut. Stop showing blank space for the map. Okay, either we make large maps and prevent you from normally being able to see the full extents, or we just generate an endless forest or have a generic colorful background like the sky, or like a grassy plain. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I think it's good. Town done. Then I need to talk. I think, okay, what do you dislike more, Caleb? Do you dislike calling people more, or do you just like driving to a place and talking to them in person? Because I was gonna say, I don't normally like calling random services either, but it's better than going there in person, especially if you only have a quick question. I usually don't like to support companies that think customer service is optional. Yeah, but sometimes you don't have much of a choice. Like, I don't know, as an example, I guess you have choices. All right, fine. All right, stop showing the town menu at the beginning of the game. Slowly unlock those functions. Yeah, this is like a pre-launch kind of thing. Stop showing the town menu at the beginning of the game. By the way, what time is it? 3:39. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you can call that show on the buttons as you complete objectives in the game. This is gonna be just a UI thing. Okay, so in hindsight, streaming was a mistake. I've done basically nothing. Yeah, I got down to 323 lines. I mean, I don't think I'm done streaming right now, but yeah, I gotta really plan my strategy about tackling this stuff a little bit better. I think, yeah, I don't know. I've gotta balance the interactivity and productivity stuff, and I always try to steer more toward interactivity. Jump time? No, we'll do that tomorrow. I think. I'm not gonna take a break. I'll probably just end up stopping at some point. Oh yeah, ISPs are a good example of that. At least in the US, some people have no choice. There's just one. Actually, I guess that's not really true anymore. I guess there are satellite services now, although I don't know how fast they are. Became onboarding communication trainer, became quality assurance. Wow. Yeah. Unknown. You companies you CS are instructed to just solve your problem and they're so patient and helpful. Yeah, it's always refreshing when that happens. Yeah. Just ignore our comments. I've just never been that kind of streamer, I guess. And I tried like a stupid version of co-working for some time and it was tough. How about 45 minutes of productivity, 15 minutes of interactivity? I think you need to like train your chat that that's what's happening. And as a viewer in those streams sometimes, take care, Taurus. As a viewer in those streams sometimes, I feel like there's no point in chatting if the streamer's not going to see it. But then again, I only go into people's streams usually for the streamer, not for the chat. Customer that company myself. Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did that a couple of times. Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say you're a rowdy bunch. Also, I'm enjoying this. When I say in hindsight, this stream was a mistake, I mean, I thought I was going to be, I guess, slightly more productive. I feel like I need to optimize for one or the other. And I think tomorrow we'll go back to just a regular productive day. It feels like you might as well be watching a YouTube video at that point. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, to each their own. Some people like that. I think this is what's nice about the diversity of people. There's something out there for everyone. Well, thanks, Alfred. Yeah, and I like that. I like that influence as well of just, hey, I want to be productive. Hopefully other people will be productive. I think what I'm going to do, so tomorrow is going to be mentoring Rami and then Skella Seller. And as far as percentages go, this is like 15% of the stream. This is like 85% of the stream. And then Thursday will probably be no stream, actually doing this work. And then Friday will be a regular stream again and an interview. I keep pointing this out, but where is this? This news post I made. So tomorrow, like I said, is a mentoring session. Friday is an interview. Monday is another mentoring session. And then Wednesday is me being a mentee for once on my stream, which I think would be cool. are live in the evening mostly. I'm live usually from 9 to 1 and 1 to 4. So this is like right toward the end of the time that I'm live, because I'm on the west coast of the US, so Pacific time. Adam is a mentee. What's going on? Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think it's Pacific Standard Time. I never know if it's Pacific Standard or Daylight. I've never learned that in my entire life. Time in Seattle. It's PDT right now. Okay, yeah. So I guess summertime is PDT. Yeah. Miss it live and just go through replies before they disappear. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you, well, there are two ways of consuming the stream. There's YouTube and there's Twitch. And people generally like the video player on YouTube and the chat on Twitch. So if you're just gonna watch a video and you don't care about chat necessarily, then I would say just watch on YouTube. It's a better experience. You get all the daylight in the summer. That's pretty good. That's a good way of remembering it. Yeah. 8:44 a.m. tomorrow here. It must be weird living in the future. Start around 8 p.m. Man, you go to bed late, Unknown. Oh yeah, I know what the initialisms stand for. I just never know what the current time zone is. And the unfortunate thing too is, even if you know what your own one is, it's hard to know what the offsets are to other parts of the world. Like Arizona, for example, doesn't do time zone switches. They're just in one the entire year. And Europe changes at different weeks of the year, I think. So I've got this thing at least to tell me what my offset is between UTC and myself, but then that doesn't tell me the time zone name. Like, you know, it's a bad day in advance. Thank you. I'll just sleep in for any of those. 2 weeks before and after us, yeah. And presumably it's always that way, but this is another one of those things I've just never bothered learning. I just wait for people in Europe to tell me, oh yeah, you're an hour different now. I'm like, oh, it happened. Okay. I keep it in my mind for the next couple of weeks. Yep, that's another thing, Unknown. And this is true even when people try to schedule things. I remember one of the first Google interviews I had scheduled, someone said it's like we meet at 11 PST, and I'm like, do you mean PDT? Is this like a trick to see if I'm paying attention? And it was not a trick. They meant PDT. But I thought, oh man, they're testing to see if I'm paying attention. Last Sunday in March and October for Germany. I don't know when it is for us. When does daylight saving time end? Why is there no like automatic answer? November 3rd? So 2 months from now. Yeah. Well, I'm just trusting that answer. I don't actually know if that's correct, but I assume it is. Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get going. I had a lot of fun today. I like the surge in chat activity. I think I kind of treated this as a day off almost, which is probably a mistake in the end, but whatever. Tomorrow we'll be doing regular stuff again, just continuing. For those who don't know, what we're working toward is another playable demo of Skeleseller. So this will be version 0.3, probably by the end of this month. It'll be freely available, so if you want to play, you can. I don't recommend playing the currently available version because we got a lot of feedback from this. And the whole point of releasing these versions was to get feedback and address it, and I'm still addressing it. It's been emotional. I would say that for me, at least. All right, let me go find somebody to raid. All right, let's raid L colon Q. But thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. If you want to join Discord, there you go. And like I said, tomorrow's mentoring and Friday is an interview. So if you're interested in that stuff, do check it out. It'll all be online afterward anyway. It's not like you need to check it out live. None of it's behind a paywall or anything. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.